Hi guys, this video is brought to you by Ace the CLAT and in this video we would be looking at this topic, resolving the paradox. So let us get straight into the video. So this topic, resolving the paradox, is a pretty simple topic to understand. I mean, the questions are not easy per se, but the concept in itself is relatively simpler as compared to something like assumptions or inference as we see in critical reasoning or reading comprehension, right? In this video, we would obviously talking about the basics of this topic. Then then we would consider some important points, and finally we would move to worked out examples. Introduction. So, in this topic, you would be presented with a stimulus in the passage itself that may seem apparently illogical or inconceivable. ठीक है? It may be something like the result of some cause may be unpredictable or मतलब वैसे तुमने expect नहीं किया था, है ना? You might think, how is this result possible, or how could this event lead to that result? That which might be some sort of a mystery or a conflicting situation, and the question stem might be phrased in a manner such as this. मतलब common indicators जो होंगे, है ना? As we have talked about this earlier कि each topic के अपने अपने common indicators होते हैं generally नहीं, सब में होते हैं almost. ठीक है. Similarly, इसमें resolving the paradox में the common indicators are कि इस तरह से phrase किए रहेंगे कि which one of the following, if true, most helps to resolve the apparent discrepancy in the information above. Discrepancy ही जो मैं बात कर रहा हूँ ना conflicting situation की, that is what I am talking about. Okay. Then which one of the following, if true, most helps to account for the failure described above. ठीक है. And finally, key and thirdly, key which one of the following, if true, most helps to I'm sorry, which one of the following, if true, most helps to explain this situation. A disclaimer over here is, guys, that it is not necessary that the questions would be phrased in this manner only. They might be phrased in other manners, but you would get the hang of it as you solve more and more questions. Matlab, by reading the question, you would understand that this is resolving the paradox type of question. Let us move ahead. Some important points to consider. So the first thing is how to tackle this type of question, how to solve this type of question correctly. The first step is to identify the contrasting situation. Right, I was talking about that you would be presented with the contrasting situation, right? So identifying that situation, that or that sort of mystery that I'm talking about, is quite simple. You just have to read the stimulus slow and steady, and it is very likely that the conflicting situation would come to your mind, or you would identify that situation straight away. The second step is looking out for the contrasting word. So what happens is that normally the words such as however, therefore, therefore नहीं, however, but, है ना, yet, though, etc. They are these are the types of words which we call contrasting words, or sometimes they might be present in the form of a phrase. ठीक है, that this is surprising, या फिर unexpectedly, है ना, इस तरह के words या फिर phrases को we need to look out for them. Why? Because what happens, guys, is that generally नहीं, in almost all cases the information present in the either side of that मतलब यहाँ मान लो कि ये contrasting word है, ठीक है, contrasting phrase है, the information present on the either side of that word or that phrase is conflicting or not in sync. इसीलिए, and this fact also helps us to identify the contrasting situation, right? And that is why it is recommended कि तुम्हें इन उन words की उन वर्ड्स को ध्यान में रखना है, कहाँ कहाँ पे प्रेजेंट है पैराग्राफ या फिर पैसेज में. थर्ड थिंग इज phrasing the situation in your own words. What I mean by this is that we need to identifying the contrasting situation and phrase it in our own words कि हमें अच्छे से समझ में आ जाए. By the way, this third point would be more clear as we solve some examples, right? And the fourth and final step is testing each choice at a time. So in this step, we need to basically test whether this piece of information which is present in the choice is able to explain our discrepancy or mystery or not. ठीक है? मतलब if it explains our mystery, it is the correct answer, and if it does not, it is not the correct answer. Basically, we need to find an explanation for the paradox or discrepancy found in the stimulus. Talking about wrong answer choices, so guys, any of the answer choices of this type of question would do three, one of the three things. ठीक है? The first one is that it would solve the discrepancy. The second thing is that it would have no effect, and third thing is that it would have opposite effect on that discrepancy. What I mean by the first type is that it would solve the discrepancy, right? मतलब it would make the puzzle, it would unfold the puzzle, and hence it would be our correct answer, which means two of the remaining types of option choices are our wrong answer choices. Are our wrong answer choices. The first one in the wrong answer choice category is that it would have no effect on the puzzle or the mystery. ठीक है? It is self-explanatory, right? And the third one is, or the second one in the wrong answer choices category is that it would have opposite effect. मतलब it would make the puzzle more complex. It would not help us solve the mystery. In fact, it would have the opposite effect. It would make the mystery more complex. ठीक है? So these are the two wrong answer choices that you need to be aware of. Now let us solve some worked examples. Okay. This one is our first worked example. By the way, this question was taken from an LSAT paper. ठीक है? And this one was taken from a GMAT guide, if I'm not wrong. ठीक है? That's a disclaimer over here. Now, what this question says is, in an effort to deter crime, administrators at a university decided to improve the lighting in campus parking lots. Okay. Because of budgetary restrictions, only half of the university's parking lots received improved lighting. Unexpectedly, that's a contrasting word, I guess. Unexpectedly, the number of complaints about poor lighting in university parking lots more than doubled after this new lighting was installed. Okay, so our contrasting word over here is this word unexpectedly, and it is quite evident that the information on the either side of that word would not be in sync, right? This side says half of the university's parking lots received improved lighting. Okay, for half of the university, okay, for half of the university parking lots, the lighting improved. But unexpectedly, the number of complaints rose. Logically क्या होना चाहिए? Complaints down होना चाहिए, right? Complaints कम होना चाहिए. In this case, however, unexpectedly, the number of complaints rose, and in fact, they rose by double, right? They rose by twice, or no, they did not rose by twice, but they rose to twice. I hope you understand the difference, right? Which one of the following, the question says, which one of the following most helps to explain the unexpected result? So our problem over here is that even after improving the lighting conditions of the parking lots in a certain university, the number of complaints about poor lighting in that university in that university's parking lots more than doubled. ठीक है. Let us go to option A. Option A says most people are not aware of any correlation between improved lighting and deterring crime. Well, guys, deterring crime was the objective of the administrators to improve the lighting, but it 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 does not fit into our paradox, right? Our paradox was that half of the university's parking lots improved the lighting. Even after that, number of complaints rose. Most people are not aware of any connection between improving lighting, outdoor lighting, and deterring crime. We do not, this is not the answer over here because it is irrelevant, or I would say it has no effect. Okay. Okay. B says, for the most part, students at the university were unaware, again, that the lighting in the parking lots had been improved. Well, if you think about it, if the students were unaware that the lighting in the parking lots had improved, they would have assumed that they remained the same, the lighting conditions in the parking lots remained the same. But why would the number of complaints rise up for that reason? It should remain constant, right? If nothing, if the status quo remains, why would the number of complaints increase, right? So that is not the correct answer. In fact, I would put this option in the opposing effect or the opposite effect category. C says, other than in parking lots, the university made no improvements to its outer lighting. Well, this is irrelevant again because what we are talking about is the the lighting conditions in the parking lots of the university, and the complaints also rose about the poor lighting in university ka parking lots and not other than in parking lots, right? Option C इसके बोल रहा है कि other than parking lots the university made no improvements. Well, that is not relevant over here. So that is why even C is not our correct answer. D says after the new lighting was installed, more people used the lots with the improved lighting and fewer people used the lots where the lighting was not improved. Let us understand this, that more or the majority of the people used sorry, improved lighting wala lot, and minority used that particular lot where the lighting conditions were not improved. Logically फिर तो यही होना चाहिए ना यार, कि जहां मेजॉरिटी लोग जा रहे हैं वहां पे कंप्लेंट्स करेंगे ही नहीं वो, देन एंड माइनॉरिटी लोग भले करें, बट सिंस मेजॉरिटी लोग ऐसे जगह पे जा रहे हैं जहाँ पे कंप्लेंट करने की जरूरत ही नहीं है, then why would this number of complaints increase, right? Again, this is not our correct answer. Well, we have eliminated A, B, C, and D. That leaves us with E, and hence it should be the correct answer. Let us look at why this should be the correct answer. Many people judged the lots with unimproved lighting against the standard set by the lots with improved lighting. Okay. Let us say that the improved lighting को अपन A बुला लेते हैं, older lighting को B बुला लेते हैं. It is saying that many people judged this. Many people judged the unimproved lighting वाला parking lot with improved वाला parking lot. समझ रहे हो? When that happens, people will say कि यार इधर तो लाइटिंग भी बहुत ज्यादा पुअर है बी पार्ट में, क्योंकि A and B are half of that parking lot, right? Let us say this is the parking lot. A and B form exactly half. A is the half part of that parking lot, B is also that half part, the other half part. So when people judge people judge B with respect to A, they will find कि यार यहाँ तो पुअर लाइटिंग कंडीशन है, इस लाइटिंग कंडीशन को इम्प्रूव कर दिया गया था, राइट, टू डिटर क्राइम. when they judge B with in respect to A, they will find कि यार यहाँ तो poor lighting condition हो चुकी है. Okay, and that is probably the reason, or that is the reason in this case, that the number of complaints rose even after improving half of the lighting conditions in that university parking lot. One tip I want to give is that you should not predict the answer in this type of question. The reason is a mystery or a paradox, guys, may have multiple explanations. ठीक है? A mystery may have explanation 1, explanation 2, any number, explanation n, कितना भी number का explanations हो सकते हैं. That is why it is not recommended from my side to predict the answer before moving to the choice. Let us move to worked example number 2. This is our second worked example. It says that when there is less rainfall than normal, the water level of Australian rivers falls and the rivers flow more slowly. Okay. Because algae, whose habitat is river water, grows best in slow moving water, the amount of algae per unit of water generally increases when there has been little rain. Okay, let us understand what is going on. So when there is less rainfall than normal, the water level of river falls and the rivers flow more slowly. मतलब the flow of the river becomes slow. And due to this, and not due to this, but due to the fact that algae का जो habitat है is river water and it grows best when it is slow moving, its amount increases. By contrast, however, it is our contrasting word or contrasting. Following a period of extreme drought, algae levels are low, even in very slow moving river water. Okay. On one hand, when the rainfall is less and the flow is also less, the amount of algae increases. But on the other, when even after a period of extreme drought, algae levels are low, even in slow moving river water. Why is this so? Is our job to find out, right? Which one of the following, if true, does most to explain the contrast described above? Our contrast, I repeat once again, is that when the rainfall is less, the flow of water becomes less, and due to that, amount of algae increases. However, following a period of extreme drought, even in that case, when the river water flows slowly or more slowly, very slowly, the amount of algae decreases instead of increasing. Let us explore option A. During periods of extreme drought, the populations of some of the species that feed on algae tended to fall. Okay. The first thing, guys, is in the question in the stimulus we are talking about following a period of extreme drought, which means after a period of extreme drought. Whereas in this option we are talking about during periods of extreme drought. That is the biggest problem of that question of this option. The population of some of the species that feed on algae tend to fall. Granted, ये भी granted कि population of some species that feed on algae tend to fall because algae की population कम हो जाती है, but it does not explain कि क्यों drought के बाद algae की population कम होती है. Okay, that is why it is not our correct option. Let us look at B. The more slowly water flows, the more conducive its temperature is to the growth of algae. Again, it explains ki why the amount of algae is high, or the amount of algae increases in a slow moving river water, but it does not explain anything कि extreme drought के बाद भी ऐसा क्यों होता है ना? ये बात तो आर्ग्यूमेंट में सॉरी पैसेज में कही ही गई है, राइट? यहीं पे तो कहा गया है that because river water algae whose water is river water grows best in slow moving water, है ना? ये बात तो कही ही गई है. That is why it is not our correct option. C says, when the algae populations reach very high levels, conditions within the river can become toxic for some of the other species that normally live there. Again, it is a very stupid option because it is talking about some of the other species that normally live there. We have nothing to do with other species, right? Our only question is, even after uh, even after extreme periods of drought, why is it that the algae levels are low even in very slow moving river water? Okay, this does not explain it and hence cannot be our correct option. D says Australian rivers dry up completely for short intervals in periods of extreme drought. Okay, well, this may be able to explain our answer because or our paradox because it says that the rivers dry up completely. Remember that the population of algae increases when there is the flow of water is slow and not when the river dries up completely. Okay, this option also indicates that after मतलब क्योंकि यहाँ पे बोला गया है कि it is only for short intervals, this also explains or indicates that after that short interval is over, the the rivers start flowing slowly again, and it is obvious, right, कि algae levels would take some time to increase. Okay, so that is why this pretty much explains our paradox or solves our mystery. Okay, this is the correct answer. Let us look at E. E says that except during periods of extreme drought, algae levels tend to be higher in rivers in which the flow has been controlled by damming than in rivers that flow freely. Okay, well, this option only says what is the problem by saying ki except during periods of extreme drought, which means periods other than extreme drought, algae levels tend to be higher in rivers in which the flow has been controlled. Flow has been controlled implies that the flow is slower there by damming than in rivers that flow freely. This option does in fact identify that there is a contrasting situation, but does not really explain the paradox present in the passage. So it cannot be our correct option. Okay, guys, I think that was all there is in this topic. That was pretty much all that is there in this topic, resolving the paradox. And I thank you for being with me throughout this video. I would urge you to subscribe to our channel and like this video. All right. So thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.